Early transfer plans for game week 24, double game week 24. This is a big week for FPL managers as we have Liverpool versus Everton, and obviously those two teams both playing twice. We're going to be going through my transfer plans, my current team situation, and what I'm going to be doing, how I'm going to be preparing for this double game week 24, and talking about the assistant manager chip as well, and chip strategy in general going into this game week. If you're a fan of FPL content and you're not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Hit subscribe on this channel. It takes 1 second. Be very much appreciated. And also drop a like while you're down there, and let's jump straight into it. So let's start off by talking about how we got on in the week so far. I'm recording this straight after the 3 p.m. kickoffs on Saturday. I'm going out tonight, so I have to record it now. There's still one more game to be played on the Saturday, which is Cole Palmer, which is Chelsea versus Man City. But for me, just Cole Palmer is to play. I've got a big green arrow this week. I was 180,000 to 125,000 currently, with returns for pretty much most players that have played so far. With Pickford getting a clean sheet, Arne getting an assist, unfortunately losing his clean sheet. Gabriel getting a clean sheet as well. Salah captain returns at least. It's decent enough. We'll take it. And then we had Chris Wood, who got 2 points, who's the one player to blank in our side. Frustrating, but it's, at the end of the day, Chris Wood's been so good for me. I'm happy still with him at the end of the day. Then Isak, who looking back maybe should have captained, but at the end of the day, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. We still didn't lose out too much on it with Isak's effective ownership just being over 100%. And then the big differential, which got me the big green arrow, was Cody Gakpo, only 23% owned around me. And of course, him coming in with 2 goals and an assist and picking up 16 points, meaning we're currently on 64 points with bonus points, but we've still got Anthony Robinson, Morgan Rogers, Cole Palmer, and Mbuemo, so 4 more to play. So hopefully we can at least hold that rank. If we can finish the week at 120k, I'll be pretty happy. But you never know, we might be able to go up a little bit more if we get some returns from maybe Mbuemo against Palace, or Robinson clean sheet, or Rogers, or something like that. Could potentially take us up a little bit more, but I'll take where we are right now. It's been a very, very good week so far. One of my best weeks that I've had in a couple of weeks now. We got our first red arrow in 10 weeks last week, and we've got back on the green arrow train now, and a big green arrow to hopefully almost take me into that top 100k. So going on to transfer plans for the next game week, we currently have 1.5 million in the bank. We're sat in quite a nice situation, I think it's fair to say, with our current situation. We've currently got 4 players for the double game. We've got triple Liverpool with Cody Gakpo, Salah, and Arne. I've been saying all last week that Cody Gakpo for me is the 3rd best Liverpool option in my personal opinion, and it was an easy move for me personally when I had Nicholas Jackson in my team. So great transfer in last week, bringing in Cody Gakpo. Very excited, very happy to see him return and going into double game. Hopefully he can continue the form that he's just shown in that Ipswich match. As from an Everton perspective, we currently have 1 Everton player in Jordan Pickford. The first fixture is very nice, and Everton have looked like they've started to turn a corner under David Moyes. Back-to-back wins now. Clean sheet for Pickford in the last game. And with Leicester at home, Leicester have been so bad. We'll see how Leicester do get on in the Premier League this weekend. But Pickford against Leicester, I'm pretty confident in hopefully some kind of points there. Now, the transfer plans is going to be related around Everton players, because we've already got our 3 Liverpool players nailed in. If you haven't got 3 Liverpool players if you haven't got 3 Liverpool this week, I don't know what you were doing. With Ipswich at home, I think you had to have 3 Liverpool players. It was always going to be a good week when they have a fixture like that. But if you've not got to 3 Liverpool players, I'd say Cody Gakpo is still just a standout for me personally. But as I say, Pickford is a player that I'm very happy to be owning going into the next game week. Looking at it from players that I think I could be getting rid of, I was going to say Gabriel. He's got Man City, but Arsenal's fixtures beyond that are pretty nice. I'm quite happy to keep hold of Gabriel, especially with him keeping a clean sheet. Now, I would like to get another Everton player in, and the player I'd like to probably go for is Mykolenko in defence. So Jacob Greaves is somebody that I might be looking to move on, because we have got 1.5 in the bank. We can just go straight up to Mykolenko, and then we'll still have a hefty amount of money in the bank for transfers in the future, and I'm happy to have Mykolenko for the double game week. But Greaves does have on paper the easiest fixture of his season so far. Southampton at home is about as good as it gets, but I do just think probably just going for the double game week player is probably the best way to go about it. As in midfield, I'm happy with Rogers and Mbuemo, Palmer and Salah. Diallo I'm still a bit dodgy on, but I'll probably end up keeping hold of Ahmad and waiting until next week to see how Bournemouth get on against Liverpool, and then potentially maybe bringing Justin Cliver for Bournemouth, who's obviously been returning insanely well. 11 points with 2 bonus, but 13 points he just got in the last match, and as well as that against Newcastle, picking up that 22-pointer. He's on absolute fire right now. Bournemouth are looking incredible, so I'm probably going to hold off on the Ahmad transfer for 1 more week, and then I'll go Ahmad, Diallo, up to Justin Clive. We'll still have enough money to do that, and then the midfield will be looking quite nice. We'll see how Bournemouth obviously get on against Liverpool, but I need to start moving towards Bournemouth assets, and probably Justin Clive is the number one Bournemouth asset right now. But all Bournemouth assets look good. Dango Otara scoring a hat-trick, and then Semenyo returning again. Bournemouth assets are just doing incredibly well, but Justin Clive on penalties as well has that extra bit of extra incentive to go for him for that reason. And going on to the forwards now, obviously Gakpo we're really happy to own going into double game week. Isak is not going anywhere as of yet because he is absolutely, the form that he's in is absolutely ridiculous right now. Now this is actually a conversation now. Chris Wood, we'll talk about this. Now Chris Wood's fixtures are getting a little bit tougher. They got smashed by Bournemouth, but there's absolutely no shame in that. Bournemouth just smashed Newcastle as well. So we can't absolutely think that Forest are finished and it's all done for them and they're not good assets anymore, because they probably will be. Chris Wood scores goals and we know he's consistent. Now the fixtures are getting tougher for Nottingham Forest coming up. Brighton up next, Fulham away, and then Newcastle away, then Arsenal, Man City. It's a tougher run for Nottingham Forest. I'm not saying Chris Wood can't return, but could I maybe gamble and take out Chris Wood and potentially bring in Iliman Ndiaye? Now, he's now on penalties because Dominic Calvert-Lewin went off injured. We don't know how serious the injury is, obviously, but Calvert-Lewin did go off injured. Everton won a penalty, and Iliman Ndiaye stepped up and took the penalty and scored it, meaning then he got 3 bonus points and he picked up an 8-pointer against Brighton, 7 against Spurs, and then the fixtures with obviously having that double game week against Leicester and Liverpool is very tempting, and then beyond that Crystal Palace and United. I don't know how long I'd even have Iliman Ndiaye in for us to bring him in. I would be quite happy to make that move, to be honest, but the problem is I've got 0.5 million value in Chris Wood. I'd sell him for 6.6. He's now 7.1 million. He's very highly owned, so it's a big risk going without him. And as I say, I might want to bring him back sometime, and I've lost 0.5 million in value. I brought in Chris Wood at 6.1 million, so it's quite tempting just to keep hold of him, to be honest, just for the fact that I've had him in for such a long time and he's been so good for me. And Iliman Ndiaye, Everton aren't exactly, I know they've scored 4 in the last 2 games and Iliman Ndiaye scored 2 in 2, but they're not exactly the most free-flowing attack in general, especially under Sean Dash, but they have seemed to have improved a bit under David Moyes. But the double game isn't the best second fixture. Obviously Liverpool is pretty horrible fixture, about the worst you can get, but it is a derby. And the first game against Leicester, I do think Everton will be able to score at least a goal against Leicester, potentially even 2. And Iliman Ndiaye's got a good chance of being involved. So if you to ask me the question, who do you think is going to get more points in game week 24, Iliman Ndiaye or Chris Wood, I'd probably say it is Iliman Ndiaye. But then I've also got that, as I said before, the value in Chris Wood. So it probably is easier for me to kind of keep hold of Chris Wood. But the most likely transfer that I will be making will be Greaves out to Mykolenko. It's just a simple move, and then I'll play in the next game. We could have Pickford double game week in defence, with Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's got a double game week in defence, with Mykolenko, who I'd bring in. And then I'd start one of either Gabriel, Aina, or Robinson, which is a bit of a dilemma who I'd start, but I'm happy to have that dilemma. I think Mykolenko having them 2 fixtures is a definite potential transfer in. So let me know how you're getting on so far this game week. It's been a very entertaining game week so far. A lot of points being scored by a lot of our FPL assets. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.